Minor swing is probably Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli's most famous composition. In today's lesson we're going to cover chord changes, the chord shapes you need and typical variations you will encounter. So chord shapes you're going to need are A minor 6, D minor 6, E7 and F7, and really that's E7/B and this is F7/C, and then B flat 7 as well. With these shapes we're only playing 3 strings. Now we want to make sure you can mute all the other strings by, you know, angling your fingers less upright where possible. So if you look at my A minor 6 there, the middle finger's not upright because it's muting the A string, and the first finger, to play the note on the D string, I'm actually using the pad of my finger rather than the tip, and it's almost coming, the first finger comes across almost like a bar and mutes the strings at the bottom. So with these chords you really do want to be able to hit all 6 strings. You can't play this rhythm and just sort of hit 3 strings, it doesn't work like that. So you want to make sure you're able to hit all the strings but only hear the notes that you've got down here. Now the chart is available from my website jazzguitarwithandy.com under the standards section, so be sure to grab that PDF for free. Now the form of this song, it doesn't have a head in the traditional sense, it has really like an intro and then a form for soloing over and then an outro. So here's the chart on the screen, we have the intro here, then we have the soloing form and then the outro to close. Here's the chords for the intro: A minor, D minor 6, A minor, D minor 6, A minor, D minor 6, then E7, 2 bars, let it ring. Do that again. So our intro was 2 bars of that A minor 6, so 1, 2, and we're going to, you know, whilst there's all that melody on the top, the rhythm guitar's just doing this. A bar on each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the E7 in which the double bass does a fill. Let me just do that again. I want to release the pressure so that, you know, I've got nothing ring out. Strings are all dead. Then that final E7 comes in, and then Django does something like that on his recording. Like that, but like, that's just the intro, and the head, if you like, is played over that. And the outro is pretty much the same, 2 bars, but you'll play rhythm with this. D minor, E7, but then stop on an A minor 6 time, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. The head again over the top of this. D minor 6, coming to the end. A minor 6 on the end. That chromatic run, by the way, I would do personally. I'd start with an up, then just alternate, and then downs for those last couple. Use the middle finger, fret 2, then first finger, then use the middle finger all the way up to the A. Nice way to end. So that's the chords to the intro and outro. Now, if you haven't got one of these, so a gypsy jazz style guitar, you can use an arch top. You can use any guitar you've got. Don't feel that you need to have something like this. There's very particular things when it comes to the rhythm. That's something for another day. There's also, you know, the idea of using a very thick plectrum. This is really a thin plectrum in regards to what most people use for gypsy jazz. Now, let's go into the form of the soloing form, if you like. So we have the intro and the outro, and in between that we just go round and round a 16-bar form, and it's very much like a minor blues. And it can just use 3 chords. It doesn't always, but this is the very basic way of playing it. So we go 2 bars of A minor 6, 2 bars of D minor 6, 2 bars of E7, 2 bars of A minor 6, back up to D minor 6, 2 bars, A minor 6, 2 bars, E7, 2 bars, A minor 2 bars, sorry, 1 bar, then back to E7, then we start again. At speed it'd be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. again then. So that's the form of that section. It just goes round and round. And as you can see, we're just actually using the same shape, just moving around. So that's great, really accessible, really easy to get to grips with. Now, typical variations, there are obviously variations in terms of the shapes you can use, the minor 6 chiefly being one of them. Now there's lots of variations for minor 6 chords. You could have the 9th, have it like this. I made a video on the minor 6 chords, so I'm not going to get into that today, but if you want other voicings for these chords, check out that video. It's in the description beneath, and it's also in a card above. You're most likely to get variations occurring in the last line, so when it goes E7 for 2 bars to A minor 6 to E7. Typical variations there include to go F7, E7, A minor 6, so like another variation would be to go E7, B flat 7, so a tritone sub of E7, back to A minor, then your E7. So you go like E7, B flat 7, A minor 6, E7. So we had either the plain old E7, A minor 6, E7, or F7, E7, A minor, E7, or E7, B flat 7, A minor 7, 6, E7. Personally, I use the middle one, the F, E, A one, that's the one I like. Another variation that you might hear, now sometimes this is only played by or implied by the soloist, but sometimes rhythm guitar players put it in, is when it goes to D minor 6, and you've got 2 bars of A minor 6 before, is to play the bar before you go to D minor as an A7, so go like... I wouldn't probably do this on the first A minor 6, but on the second one it would work well, so we'd be like A minor 6, D minor 6, E7, A minor, A7, just gives a little pull to that D minor 6. Then let's try the F7, E7, like that. Now the typical variation is to play the Autumn Leaves progression over the last 8 bars of the 16 bar form, like this. Instead of going D minor 6, A minor 6 and so on, they go D minor 7, G7, C major 7, F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, E7, A minor 6, E7. Now if I put that in context, I'll play the whole form, but the last 8 bars I'll play the Autumn Leaves movement. So it'd be A minor 6, D minor 6, E7, A minor 6. Then here goes. So that's of course to Django and Stephan's Minor Swing, a really fantastic song to play, to jam, and it's relatively simple, not many chords, and you can even just use that one shape if you like that I first showed you. Here's some things for you to do. Obviously get used to the form, memorise the chords, play about with the variations, but then listen to lots of versions, absorb the changes to the song, get used to them. Versions I like, obviously you really want to get used to Django and Stephan's version, the 1937 one first, but he recorded it later on in his career as well, so be sure to check those out as well, because they're pretty cool too. Another version I really like is actually a big band version by Claude Bolling. Now that is where he arranges Django's solo from the 1937 version for a full big band, and that is pretty incredible to think. You know, Django's improvised solo would later be played out by a whole big band covering all the different spectrum of Django's, you know, incredible playing. I mean, there's tons of gypsy jazz versions to listen to. Be sure to look at, you know, people like Stoklo Rosenberg, Borelli Legren, loads of people. But another quirky version to check out is Johnny Depp. He recorded the song and plays it in the film Chocolat, so check that out, it's a bit interesting. Anyway, enjoyed learning those chords. Any questions or any comments on anything I've covered today, then be sure to leave them below. If you've gained value out of this lesson, then hit the like button, and please subscribe if you don't already. Join me for jazz guitar lessons every Wednesday and Saturday. See you again until next time.